Hello again, everybody. This is Dave from Blox News and Xclusive Collectibles back for another box break. Today we're going to be opening a 1991-92 Upper Deck hockey box. These boxes can contain Brett Hull autograph cards, collector's choice, a lot of Gretzky's, some good rookie cards, some great players, and we're going to give you an idea what comes out of one of these boxes, and maybe today we can pull one of these Hull cards. So take a look and hope you enjoy. These boxes contain 36 packs, like I mentioned, collector's choice, as well as special slapshot inserts. As I mentioned, there's possibility of Brett Hull autograph cards, but as well as hat trick, 3D cards, and definitely some good Hockey Hall of Fame rookie cards. So hope you enjoy. Moving along to the first pack of the 1991-92 Upper Deck box. Moving along to the 1991-92 Upper Deck hockey box, featuring potential Brett Hull cards. These boxes were mass-produced back in the 90s along with all the other sports, but, there's still some potential gems to come out of the box. So, here we go. Brett Hull. Base card, Russ Romaniuk, Rick Vave. We've got Paul Coffey, Mike Liut. We've got Peter Svoboda, Phil Bourque, Don Quinn, Tony Almonte. We've got Jim Waite from the Blackhawks, Rod Langway, Joe Ricci, and a sweepstakes insert card with apparently just the list of all players. So moving along to pack 2. The foil on these packs isn't as tough as those of baseball, football, and basketball. Those are really tough to open. They actually made it a little bit easier for this year. Collector's Choice card, Matt Sundin. Collector's Choice cards are always neat looking cards. Zygmunt Palffy, Kirk McLean. We've got Rick Touche, Dave Manson, Louis DeBrusque, Darren Shannon, Zdeno Siger, Gary Nealand, Yves Racine. Next up we have Zygmunt Palffy, once again, Matt Delgidis, and of course the Upper Deck standard. Moved along pack 3. Dive right in. Broke that one open a little quick. Doesn't look like damage to cards though. Chris Chelios. Yager. That's one of the good rookie cards out of this set. Johan Garpenolov. Tony Granato. Joe Nieuwendyk. Dave Chikowski, Larry Murphy, Chris Chelios once again from the Blackhawks, Chris Taylor, Jocelyn Lemieux, Sean Burr, and finally Rick Sutter out of that one. And then of course the standard, sweepstakes entry ballot for All-Stars. Moving along. And another thing about these cards from this series is the cards are super thin stock. So it's very easy to damage within the pack. And getting a perfect 10 of some of the good rookies is very hard to find. Eric Morano, Sergei Fedorov, One of my favorites. Jarmo Kekalainen, Brian Glynn, Dino Ciccarelli, Adam Creighton, Sean Burr, Gary Sutter, Geoff Courtnall, Georges Baca, another Jaeger, and Philippe Boucher card, along with, of course, All-Star Ballot. Move along. Yeah, it's always good to be careful opening these packs just because how flimsy the cards are. We have Jan Luukkonen, Martin Rosinski, Jeremy Roenick, Craig Janney, Vladimir Ruzicka, Vincent Rindu, Brian Noonan from the Hawks, Wayne Presley, another Hawk, Blackhawk rather, Jerry Littell, Joe Murphy, Rick Zombo, and Kimby Daniels out of that one. Next up, so out of this one, we don't get as many collector's choices as typical Upper Deck cards. We have Marcus Ketterer, Yager, that's a good one. Johan Garpenlov, Dean Evison, Randy Wood, LaFleur's Farewell, Sergei Karen, Glenn Wesley, Mark Potvin, Martin Hostak, Gail Samuelson, not sure if I'm saying that right, and finally out of this one, Daryl Shannon. Moving right along. It's hard to really go too quick with the foil packs. As I said, it's really easy to damage them. Teemu Selene, that's another good one out of this one. Jerry Slegger, Joel Otto, Tim Chevelday, Ron Hoover, Tim Hunter, Andrew Cassels, Craig Mooney, Peter Doris, Claude Bovin, and the final two are Jeff Bookaboom and Sylvain Couturier. Next up, now be amazed if we got one of the autographs, but hey, we're gonna try. Got another Yager, Joseph Baranek, Eddie Belfour. Got Rick Wamsley, Craig Simpson, Dave McLean, Jay Mazier, Brett Feddick, Ken Bumgarner, John Ogranick, John Chabo, Bob Beers, and All-Star Ballot. Next up we have Matt Sundin, not a bad one. Chris Chelios, one of the greats. Luke Robitaille, Trevor Linden, Mark Janssens, Joe Mullen, Wayne Presley, Brian Fogarty, Patrice Brisbois, Tony Amonte, and finish off the pack with Siri Slager, and finally Sergei Fedorov. That's another good one. Next up, Mike Modano, Jeremy Roenick, another good one. Steve Yzerman, always a fan favorite. David Volek, Michael Pavanka, Dave Taylor, Craig Mooney, Scott Pearson, Doug Waite, Trevor Kidd, Martin Rusinski, and finally out of this one, Eddie Belfour. Good one. Moving along. Pull out Sergei Fedorov right out of the gate. Brian Leach. Paul Cavallini. Corey Millen. Ken Riggett. Dave Capuano. Phil Bork. Scott Thornton. Brian Scrudland, Mark Grieg, Randy McKay, Vishaliz Fedizov, out of that one. We're about 10 packs in. Some of these tend to give you a little trouble to open, but you gotta be careful. Ken Hodge, another Jeremy Roenick, USA team. Alexei Kazetanov, Pat Ilanuk, Gaten Duchen, Joe Mullen, Lou Franceschetti, Cam Russell, Joel Savage, great name, Chris Tansel, Rod Langway, and finally out of this one, Mario Doyen. Next up, probably got almost about halfway through here. Pavel Bure, Dennis Vask, Rob Brown, Kevin Lowe, Vincent Rindu, Vladimir Ruzicka, Ray Ferraro, Rick Tabaracci, Chris Joseph, Patrice Brisbois, Ron Hextall, Marcus Ketterer, and looks like we have a hologram, Brett Hull hologram, but unfortunately, I don't know if you can tell, but in the top left corner, we got a little nick, and bottom right hand corner, it's not completely square, which is a shame for this card, but unfortunately, due to the nature of the foil pack, that's bound to happen. So it's really hard to get a perfect 10 on some of these cards. Moving along. Jamie Matthews, Zygmunt Palffy, Troy Gamble, Trevor Linden, Dennis Savard, Martin Golinas, Rick Sutter, Ken Sutton, Mike Donnelly, Rob Ray, 50-50 Club, Collector's Choice. And finally out of this one, Felix Potvin. Yeah, these upper decks, everything from 91, 92, 90, 89, they're pretty flimsy cards here. Sandy McCarthy, Jason Colmore, Stefan Mateo. Now we got David Volek, Al McGinnis. Next up we have Guy Carbonneau, Cale Johansson, Len Barry, Ken Quinney, Steve Smith, Russ Romaniuk, and finally Brian Sakic. Yeah, roughly, yeah, I think we're right around the halfway point. Nice little Collector's Choice. Nice Gretzky Collector's Choice there. Brett Hull right after. Isa Tikkanen. Mike Ridley. Terry Cartner. Terry Cartner once again. Jel Samuelson. Sergei Nemichov. Mike Donnelly. Ken Sutton. Ray Ferraro. And finally out of this one, Sheldon Kennedy. Alright, got the next one going. Brian Leach, Joseph Baranek, Rick Touchette, David Volek, Stefan Lebo, Anatoly Semenov. Awesome looking checklist. Bernie Nichols. Stéphane Facette. Star Rookie Checklist. Johan Garpenlov. And finally, Brian McReynolds out of that one. along. Looking for some decent condition holograms. Hull, Fedorov, Yasmin, some of the big name players. Martin Rucinski, Zygmunt Puffy, Mike Vernon, Peter Bondra, Peter Savoda, Robert Reichel, Andre Rassisat, Michael Goulet, Kevin Todd, Doug Budger, Gord Murphy, and Troy Loney out of that one. Well, with Eddie Belfour, good one. Mike Richter, Sean Burke, Peter Klima, John Casey, Chris Chelios, neat looking card, Garth Butcher, Paul Stanton, Darcy Lowen, Mike Sillinger, Dave Hannon, and finally out of this one, David Shaw. Alright. Got 2 small stacks of packs. Andre Werner, Glenn Murray, Peter Ing, Pierre Tunjan, Teppo Numminen, Adam Graves, Bob Basson, Mark Grieg, Brian Scrudland, Dan Curry, Rob Blake, Ken Sutton, and it looks like we have Wayne Gretzky. Again, corners, actually all 4 corners have issues on them, so that's another damn shame. Finishing off this small stack of packs, and then we got the one main pack here on the camera. Jason Daw. Next up, Martin Rucinski, John Tanner, Mike Richter, Peter Zessel, Alexander McGillney, Al LaFreight, Mike Sillinger, Darcy Lowen, Ulf Docklin, Eric Weinrich, and finally out of this one, Len Barry. Yeah, so far we've seen a couple of Hall of Famers, a couple of holograms, but unfortunately, as you saw, not the best condition. Joseph Baranek, Mark Messier, Jimmy Carson, Kelly Miller, Steve Chiasson, Robert Cron, Tim Sweeney, Gary Shutchuk, Mark Hunter, Ken Baumgartner, and finally rounding off this pack with Ray Shepard and Mike McPhee. Next up, Jerry Slager, Steve Larmer, Steve Thomas, Scott Stevens, Craig McTavish, Glenn Healy, and Gary Shuchuk once again, Tim Sweeney, Sean Cronin, Bob Sweeney, Claude LaPointe, and finally Kevin Todd. Got Tony Herkak, Enrico Ciccone, another checklist, awesome insert. Marty McSorley, David McLean, Craig Simpson, Brian Fogarty, Jocelyn Lemieux, star rookie checklist once again. Brian Trottier, Gene Ajanin, and look at that, double star rookie checklist. All right, getting at the bottom of the order. Got a couple extra draft picks. Brian Millen, Sean Van Allen, Bob Essensa, Rob Brown, Robert Reichel, Peter Savoda, Scott Pearson, Gary Galley, another Gary Galley, Chris King, Nicholas Lidstrom, and Stephen Rice. As we've seen so far, Upper Deck and some of these older year packs, you got a tendency to get back-to-back at the same card. You can only get lucky and hope for good cards for those, but unfortunately, a lot of them are lesser cards. Neil Wilkinson, Eric Morano, Marty McSorley, Upper Deck checklist, no one cares, Tim Hunter, Ron Hoover, Dave Hannon, Don Sweeney, Wayne Gretzky, cool looking card, Stephen Rice, and the final two are Matthew Schneider and Jerry Curry. Yes, honey. Alright, we're finishing up this last stack of 10. Final countdown of the packs. So far, nothing really quite notable other than some good rookie cards. Mike Richter, Nicholas Anderson, Jaron Erickson, Tom Barrasso, Upper Deck checklist, another no one cares. Cliff Roning, John Chabo, Michael Pettit, Stu Grimson, Vyacheslav Kozlov, Chris Dahlquist, and finally out of this one, Jerry Littell. Getting close to the end here. Not seeing a Brett Hull anywhere. Brett Hull autograph, rather. Haven't seen too many regular Hulls either. Tony Herkak, Gary Volk, Uwe Krupp, Shane Carson, Darren Puppa, Sergei Makarov, Ace card, Dominic Hasek, Martin Hasek, Ken Quinney, Darcy Lowen, And rounding out the last of the pack is Adrian Plasvic and El Afraid. Next up, Jeremy Roenick, Rob Blake, another Jeremy Roenick, base card, Trevor Linden, Kelly Hurudley. Next up we have Shane Corson, Bob Kudelski, Sergei Nemechov, Stefan Facette, Gary Galley, Gary Volk, and finally Cal Johansson. Cracking up the next one. See if we can get any better holograms. Eric Morano. Another 50-50 point club. Dave Snuggerud. Gary Roberts. Joe Morris. Bruce Driver. Chris Dahlquist. Jim Hrivnek. Jason Prozovsky. Jared Skald. Terry Yoke. And finally, Martin Ruzinski out of that one. Alright, we're on the final countdown of packs. Looks like we got 3, 4, 5, 6. This is number 7. 7 left. Stu Barnes. Michael Picard. Don Bupri. Gino Savellini, LaFleur's Farewell, Randy Wood, Mike Tomlak, Stephen Finn, Ken Daneko, Jim Waite, Troy Millette, and finally Jan Lukanen. This one we've got Brian Leach, Thomas Sandstrom, Rick Vave, Chris Tariri, Joe Mullen, Gaten Duchenne, Gord Murphy, Don Quinn, Ken Sabarin, Brian Sakic, and round out this one, Jim Pake and Mark Potvin. Looks like we got another Roenick, Matt Sundin, Dave Gagner, Jerky Loom, Dave Capuano, Ken Reggett, Jeff Bookie Boom, Jeff Norton, Luke Richardson, Maple Leaf, Felix Potvin, Ron Sutter, and this one, finally, Gary Nyland. Alright. T-4. Chelios. Mike Modano. Thomas Steen. Peter Stetsny. Paul Stanton. John Casey. Rick Zomba. Bernie Nichols. Ken Quinney. Len Barry, Mike Tomlak, and Yvonne Corvue. Final three. Number 3. Sean Van Allen. Haven't really seen him much. George H. White House welcome card. Dave Ellett. Doug Gilmore. John McIntyre. Doug Woodster. Ron Sutter. Gary Sutter. Brian McReynolds. Doug Waite. Peter Sidorkiewicz. And Timo Solane. Only second one of him we've seen. Alright. Second to last out of this box. Mike Modano. Jerry Slager. Mike Craig. Pierre Turgeon. Keith Primo. Gary Lehman. Garth Butcher. Michael Pettit. Trevor Kidd. Jim Waite. Jan Ojanen. And Wayne Gretzky out of that one. Alright, we're on the last pack here. I'm not expecting anything quite different, but you know what, we'll see what we get. Brett Hull, actually first one of him, so that's kind of surprising. Johan Garpenlov, Paul Coffey, another good one. Bill Ranford, Ron Francis, Dale Hunter, Bob Sweeney, Eric Desjardins, Brian Benning, Matt Dogaitis, Murray Craven, and Peter Doris. So there you have it. This has been the 1991-92 Upper Deck Hockey Box opening. Hope you kind of got an idea of what to get out of the box. We didn't see any big entries. We've got 2 holograms, some Timo Solane, some Hall of Famers, a couple Collector's Choice. Not many out of this box, but I've seen some boxes with a lot of Collector's Choice, some not, but this one had surprisingly few of them. So hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Click the subscribe button for more videos. Listen and download us on SoundCloud. Visit our site at bloxnews.net and xclusivecollectibles.com for articles, news, collectibles, and help with your website, marketing, and SEO needs. Email us at info@bloxcoinnews.com to learn more.